Gamescom.
So
The very first thing we should talk about at Gamescom is the most anticipated game, Call of Duty Vanguard. No one's really sure who's making it or publishing it this year.
Okay,
because
so
it's not. It doesn't say anywhere.
that's
Do you know
true.
who's
That's
who's
true.
making that? Who's
This
publishing
is
Call of Duty Vanguard?
So Sledgehammer is the lead developer on it. It's
My
lead
God.
studio.
Shocking.
And Treyarch's doing the zombie mode.
Because that's what they do good.
Yeah, and then Raven, Beanoxheim, and the rest of them are doing like the battle royale updates for it.
Right.
And yes, you're right. You're right. Like there's no signifying on anywhere on it like who's the actual publisher. It was funny, they tried to have this very beat around the bush reason for it, like, oh, we're just trying to focus on the game. I forget what their exact
maybe they
excuse was.
accidentally deleted it off the trailers when they were destroying all that evidence for the court case.
Yeah, that's also the other fun thing, because I think that came out yesterday. That I don't know if they're getting sued again or if the lawsuit got worse, or I don't know what. All I know is the state of California
added some shit,
raised the stakes a bit, because they're like, we have evidence you shredded documents.
Yeah, so basically what happened is they raised the charges because they found evidence in their investigation that a bunch of evidence had been destroyed, like a bunch of documents and stuff, basically proving that they knew that this was the culture. Dalo tweeted me an article about it, but it's all around screwed up situation.
So you would think that if you got caught shredding evidence, that would be even worse. But do you know why they shredded evidence?
I don't. Why?
Because I think someone either from HR or just somewhere else in Activision came out and was like, the reason they're doing this is because the fine for shredding evidence is less than what was in that evidence. So apparently it was a calculated maneuver by Activision, because they knew that the documents they had would probably indict them for so much that they're like, it'd be better to just take the fine for shredding evidence than.
So you've heard the term backdoor taxes, right?
Yeah.
So corporations, they get by without paying a bunch of tax in the United States, but part of the reason why they get away with that is there's like all sorts of backdoor taxes. California, super notable for it. So California doesn't have the money to enforce any of the environmental laws that it's put in place. And what's happened is basically just at the end of the year, California doles out a bunch of these fines, and it's up to the companies to either pay the fines or prove that they didn't do that thing. But the fines are all priced to be just cheaper than actually doing the thing, that would make it so that they don't get fined. And so at the end of the year, they basically pay these fines to departments that don't have the staff or the resources to do anything about it, really, and it becomes a backdoor tax. One of the interesting things that, like, say, New Zealand did is New Zealand got rid of all the backdoor taxes, made a flat tax that you had to pay, and yes, it was quote-unquote higher than elsewhere, but then, like, you get a person assigned to you to basically do all the loops for you, so you, as a corporation, just write a fucking check, and this person who works for the government makes sure that you don't run astray anywhere, so you never get fined. Oh, sorry.
Is that the dog?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, puppy. But yeah, so it sounds like a very similar situation either way, one way or the other, about like, yeah, so like, how horrible is this, where like whatever was going on, and it's all come out as being bad, but it sounds like they had they had provable evidence. Like, they must have had something like really damning that was like lock solid, so they shredded it and just be like, it would be easier, it's going to be easier and cheaper to just pay the fine for tampering with evidence than admitting.
The point of that diatribe that Doug shit all over was that this happens all the time, especially in the States. Like, because they know that the fine basically is just going to be a flat backdoor tax, they skip a whole bunch of bullshit doing it. Yeah, it makes them look bad on paper, but like, it doesn't matter because it technically they come out on top either way.
Hmm.
And it's just shitty.
So yeah, this is a extremely shitty place to work for. Is the only thing I can take away from any of this.
I guess I know there's a bunch of people that are like,
but you know, and again, it sounds terrible, but it's like this is also to me is like, yeah, and this is probably very standard across the industry too.
probably,
Like,
yeah.
I don't think much. Like, I'm pretty sure this is probably it's like this in a lot of places. Like, ugh. It doesn't make it right. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying that like the worst. I'd say the worst part about all this is that it's not
Uncommon.
it's not as uncommon as it should be. That's probably what like the worst part about all of it. So
And now we just don't know who's making that game. And that's or who's publishing that game. I mean, now it's just a mystery.
It's weird how like you know there's a Call of Duty. It came from space.
Yeah, don't Google it. Don't Google it, guys. They don't want you to. They don't want you to know.
Okay, like let's get into something happy, like a happier subject matter, if anything. Oh, okay. Before we leave Call, did you watch the Vanguard footage at all?
I did. It looks fine.
It looks fine. Yeah. Someone pointed out how hilarious it was about they had this big thing on stage with Laura Bailey, you know, as Polina, you know,
Love
like,
her.
hey, you know, she's going to voice this historical figure, blah blah blah, and here's gameplay of that character, and she doesn't even fucking talk because it's just her
That's
sneaking
really funny.
around, trying to be silent and not making any noise, and silently, stealthily kill all these Nazis, and it's like. To me, it's like, yeah, that's a really good point. You had this whole big fucking onstage presentation about Laura Bailey is going to be Polina. Here's gameplay as Polina. Polina doesn't say anything.
Look, fighting Nazis is obviously one of the most attractive things, you know, for a gamer because you don't have to explain that they're bad. They're bad. They're Nazis. But I got to be honest, I'm done with Activision currently. It's just super easy with this slate. Like, gotta be honest. I'm not really sacrificing a lot here. This just does not. I don't know. It looks like a retreading, and so
yeah,
it's not gonna be a hard deal for me.
I've seen it sort of compared to like this is 2008 when World at War came out after Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. I mean, granted, it's a little flip flop because Cold War came out last year, but that was, you know, it was very well known that it was not meant to be that way. This was supposed to be last year. It was supposed to switch places. But yeah, I do think that is, you know what? Yeah, it's very much one of those. And people like World at War. Like World at War definitely has its fans.
Good.
I never even played it.
Oh, I liked it. Yeah,
because I was still enjoying COD 4.
Yeah,
at the time when World at War came out.
I didn't play World at War until long after both were considered dead. Like,
okay.
World at War had an audience for a while still after COD 4 kind of died out. So there was that. But I got to be honest, like a battle royale with World War II weapons and stuff could be cool. But I don't even think, is that the case? They're not even doing a World War II battle
I don't know.
royale.
Well, they haven't said it. The rumor is that we're not getting we are getting a World War II map, but it's in the South Pacific, not in Europe, which I'm actually excited about because that's pretty close to kind of what we wanted, which was I really wanted a Vietnam era.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been baller. It depends on where in the South Pacific, because if you get Guadalcanal, you're gonna be pissed. It's just rock.
It's just rock mud. It's just like
nowhere to hide, no verticality at all.
You know, I don't know. I have no idea what this is going to be, but like I imagine if you do it right, you can make it really cool because you could not only would you have your islands, multiple islands, but you could have like ships and like ship areas, aircraft carriers. Like if they are doing a World War II map in the South Pacific, they have to bring swimming back. Like they can't make like the water can't be lava as it currently is in Warzone.
Well, if
It,
it's Raven making it, Infinity Ward's the one that's afraid of swimming.
yeah,
Raven did swimming pretty well, so it'll be fine. It'll be in there.
yeah. All I can say is I'm not paying for anything. Anything that comes out, and it's like, oh, it's going to cost this. It's a shame. And it's like, oh, don't you want to play it? Not nearly that badly, honestly. Like for
I'm good.
me, it's just it's a guilty pleasure. Am I going to pay this? Would I pay $70 for Vanguard? No. Um, it's not like what we saw looked bad, but it was just kind of like it's like you said, it's an extremely easy company to ignore.
Yeah.
Their portfolio's so fucking small now, being just Call of Duty and whatever Blizzard shits out. I just, I don't care that much. If anything, for me, it's just like the historical aspect is like seeing, oh, like cool, you play as these real figures throughout history. That's cool. I like that there's all four theaters are being represented. That's cool. Am I going to play the game? Am I going to play or buy the game? No.
Yeah, solid.
Sorry. And here's the thing. Here's the better question. And would you say nothing happened with Activision? Say it wasn't a shithole company. Say everything was just fine, status quo. Would you be interested in playing or buying Vanguard if there wasn't any bullshit associated with Activision?
Only
And for me,
if friends
it's
I knew.
maybe.
Yeah, it's like only if I knew there were friends that were definitely going to get it.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's a really good point. I'll say maybe I would have been a little bit, might have been interested in Vanguard if there was no bullshit associated. But bullshit associating it puts it very comfortably in it, like, I don't care anymore kind of mindset. So